$286? What the?
Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, Chapter 1.
Thanks for switching lanes to 60K. We're gonna get started for you.
Thank you.
Chapter 117.
I don't know about you, but I hate when I go out and I pick up food and by the time I get back to eat it, it's cold, the texture's all wrong, maybe it's been sitting in a sealed box in its own steam and it's just like now it's soggy or something like that. So I wanted to find a solution to that problem, and I'm doing that with the help of the sponsor of today's video, Anycubic, and the Cobra S1 Max. More about them in a bit. Let's take a look at what already might be out there that I could maybe use for this. This seems the most obvious to me. It's a cooler. They keep cold things cold or they keep hot things hot. They're just insulated boxes. This can help, but there are some real downsides to it. First of all, it's just a sealed box, and while it may prevent heat from leaking out pretty well, it's not gonna add any heat into the food, it's not gonna maintain a temperature super well, and it's definitely gonna allow steam to just build up. For some kinds of food, that can be a problem. So, what is there already out there that might do what I'm looking for? Well, this is the best thing I found. I got this online. It's a heated lunchbox. Opening it up, we can see we've got sort of a slightly insulated, reflective cloth pouch, and inside that is this box. This box plugs into the 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter in your car. It's just got heating pads around the inside of this. But right off the bat, something I noticed is kind of a problem. It's not very big. You would have a pretty hard time fitting a restaurant meal inside this box. And there's no temperature control in this one. There might be some more expensive versions that have a level of temperature control, but this is just, you turn it on, it chooses the heat, and it maintains that heat level. I actually think this is a pretty cool product. I think for some people with the right kind of food, this could be awesome. But when I go out to get food and bring it back to my house to eat, this is not the right kind of tool for that job. So failing to find the product that I want, I figure it's something I'm just gonna have to make myself, which is a lot more fun anyway. Now, step one is going to be this same cooler. I'm going to modify this to turn it into what I really want, which is my first thought of trying to describe what I'm looking for is a lower heat, car-powered air fryer. I don't want something that's actively cooking my food. I just want something that is deliberately adding heat in at a temperature I can control to keep it at a good, safe, but hot and edible temperature that hopefully will help it maintain some of its original textures as well. So I started shopping around. The first piece I shopped for is this. This is a heater with a small fan in the back that is designed to be powered with 12 volts, the amount of voltage you can get with a cigarette lighter adapter in a car. First step, let's test this out. All right, now it's been running for about a minute. This is nothing crazy, but there is absolutely quite hot air being blown out of the front of this fan. And again, while it's not exactly something I would use to heat up a room, I'm only trying to heat up a box about that big. Feels to me like it would do the job. Now there is going to be more to it than just sticking this into the box. I want it held in the right spot, and more importantly than that is I want temperature control. I don't want this to heat up so much that it's overly cooking the food or melting some of the plastic of the cooler or anything like that. Fortunately, finding ways to control a little 12-volt heater are not too hard. This right here is a thermostat, kind of like the one that controls the heat in your house. This is the thermocouple. This is what does the measuring to know what temperature everything is, and you can set this to turn electronics on or off when it hits a certain temperature. So let's take a look at what parts I'm going to need to design and print with the Cobra S1 Max to get everything to stay right where I want it. All right, now that I've got my custom parts all 3D modeled, I think I'm ready to try printing some. And I gotta see if they'll actually fit and work correctly, but luckily I get to do that with the sponsor of today's video, the Anycubic Cobra S1 Max Combo. So guys, I've already been making some fun parts with this S1 Max Combo, and I gotta say, it's the real deal. This is a powerhouse of a 3D printer that combines all of the new tech that you expect, but is also like super user-friendly. And it's got a massive build volume. It's 350 by 350 by 350 millimeters, so you can easily print large models. The Cobra S1 Max Combo is super easy to set up because it arrives 95% already assembled. So there's no frustrating assembly with this guy. And by connecting 4 of these Ace 2 Pro units, you can do 16 different colors. This guy supports ABS and ASA. You can do PC and PA filaments. It is great for builds that need strength and a premium finish. Also, one of the top features of the Ace 2 Pro units is the 65 degrees Celsius high temperature drying while printing capability. You want a fully enclosed Core XY system? It's here. How about a fully active heated filament chamber? The Max Combo has it. Need a 350 Celsius high temp hot end with hardened steel nozzle? Well, look no further because that is on here as well. Along with that, one of the best parts is the temperature and moisture level display. You can view real-time environmental information just at a glance. Just look at these parts. I am genuinely impressed with how this S1 Max Combo is handling everything I throw at it. So if you're ready to take your DIY 3D printing to a pro level, go check out the Anycubic Cobra S1 Max Combo by using my link down in the description or scanning this QR code next to me. They've got a great early bird sale going on for it right now, so don't miss it. So we're going to be using ASA filament for this. This is a much higher temperature filament that should be able to handle these temperatures no problem. So let's get this loaded into the machine along with the activated charcoal packet that is for the filter. ASA is best used when filtered or vented or both, and so I don't want to be breathing in the fumes, so I'm going to throw the filter in. Okay, I think this is going to be all of our parts. This will be our heater and fan holder. This will hold our thermostat on the outside of the box. These will be for passing cords through the machine, so out one side and back in the other side. And then this is going to be a cover that goes on the front of the cooler so that the wire to the thermocouple is not just hanging there in the front. This just makes it look a little nicer, you know? All right. Got our heater fan nicely into our 3D print. So that is, I'm thinking, just gonna go right about here. We've got air that can go in on all 4 sides of it, so airflow shouldn't be any kind of problem. I've got this piece here printed as the pass-through for the cords. So I'm going to have one side of this be on the inside and one side on the outside of the box, and then they will thread together to just create this nice sandwiching effect that holds onto the sides of the cooler and lets the cords go right through that little hole. So I need a hole in the side of the cooler that is the diameter of the outside of the bigger one. I want my thermostat to be about right here. Okay, what we want to see, take all of our assorted wires and see if we can't just get them all fit through our new bypass channel that we've created. Wow, brilliant. I'm gonna be doing a lot of attachment with these. These are called lath screws. They have a really nice flat top. They don't stick out very much, and they're pretty pointy, so they're good at stabbing into the plastic walls of this container. Nice and sturdy. Now I need wiring. I have to get these wired into the thermostat along with giving the power to everything. And so I need to do some soldering and then connecting, and then this will get mounted onto the box. So now I've got my nice printed piece. Let's see if I can get this to clip in. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Just frames it so nice. Now this piece has to go out this way, and did I? All right, now I did just realize that I forgot to have a pass-through spot for the cord, the power cord over here. I have one for the thermocouple, but I don't have one for the power cord. So I'm actually going to change the model and just quickly reprint a new one of these, and we'll put it on. ASA prints very hot, so the plate itself has got to cool down. Looking pretty good. Mounted to the side. Now we need our thermocouple, and that's where I need to drill my new hole. Now this piece I actually designed a little bit differently. So you can see I've made this little notch in this piece. Pull that. And that should fit right on top. You just gotta throw a few more screws in to hold that in place. This right here is grip tape meant for a tennis racket. And I am just gonna add a more comfortable grip onto the handle here. Is that important? I would say no, it's not. I am just doing it for funsies. All right, now I might need to come up with my own name, but I'm not gonna call it the Igloo Playmate, so I'm gonna do some paint removal. Where the logo was, there's still a little bit there, but it's less glaring, so I think it's an improvement. Obviously, if this is full of food and in your car, you don't want it to tip. Now, it's not unsteady, but I think we can do a little bit better by adding some feet down in the four corners, and that'll just make it a little bit wider at the base. Now, before I test it with food, I just want to try plugging it in and seeing how long it takes to heat up to that 160 Fahrenheit. 160 Fahrenheit is a temperature above the danger range for bacterial growth, and it seems like a good temperature to have nice hot food without it really starting to like overcook too much. We got to 160 at almost exactly the 20-minute mark. So it hits 160, it turns itself off. The temperature is now dropping, but it dropped down enough that it restarted. So I don't have to do anything, it's just going to maintain that temperature. That is exactly what we want to see. It is working exactly the way we want it to. Everything in there is nice and hot, and I think this is going to do a great job of keeping food at an excellent temperature. All right, turn that off for now. Well, I think it's about time that we test it with some food. Can I get 2 of the box combos?
For the second window, thank you.
Thank you. All right, made it back from my test trip. This is to see how well our heated cooler keeps things warm compared to just the container they come in. I can tell you the inside of this plastic bag is like damp. Like there was enough steam coming off of it that this is actively damp. Now, I'm not gonna say that this food is like actually ice cold at this point. It's been a little over 20 minutes probably since it was ordered, and it definitely still has some heat. All the food is still a little warm. It's not hot. All right, now in comparison, let's see how this is. Okay. Fries a little crispier, not a big difference, but they're a little better. It's a slight improvement. The food that was in the heating box is warmer a little bit than the other food, but it's not as big of a difference as I thought there would be, and I think I know why. I was thinking that this box was so small that that fan would get air circulating everywhere, but I think with the heater fan up high and with this like vaulted lid, it loses too much of the heat down at the bottom where the food is. So I want to try modifying a couple things to try and help keep all that heat down near the base. First up, I'm gonna disconnect the part that's holding the heater fan at the top, and I'm just gonna screw it in farther down so it's closer to the bottom. And on top of that, literally, I'm going to be using this aluminum tray. This fits in length really well. It's a little bit too wide, so I'm just going to deform it a little bit to make it fit better. For a little bit of fold overlap like that. Just as one more little thing, I'm gonna take this step drill and I'm just gonna poke a few holes in this that can be used to maybe let a little bit of steam escape the smaller chamber that the food's gonna now be in. There we go. So now we can have our food in there and just drop this right down on top of it. So our food should fit under there pretty well. It all still fits within the container. So I'm gonna wait till tomorrow and have the same food again and see how it does in our new and improved heater box. Really quick before I run off and grab food, I want to redo the heating test to see how long it takes now. 7 minutes and 43 seconds to get all the way up to 160 degrees from a nice room temperature. That's not bad. The box works when it's empty. Let's see how it does when we put food in it. All right, we're trying this again just to see what result we get with our slightly modified and updated heater box. Opening this up, there are literally drops of water like on the box that have they got up onto the plastic and then dripped down. So I don't love how much steam that is. Now this box does come with some vent holes, so it could be worse. All right, and it has been about 30 minutes since I picked up the food. Now I'm gonna use a digital thermometer and see what kind of temperature test I'm getting on this chicken after 30 minutes of travel time. Okay, that's in about the middle of the thickest part of the chicken here, and it's coming up to 125, which of course is not cold, it's fine, it's just kinda warm. How's our toast? Bread. And our fries. Gotten kind of chewy, definitely cooler, not cold all the way through or anything. Can you take a thermometer reading of a fry? I've never tried. All right, tapping out at just over 100 Fahrenheit. So, heater box, this has been running the whole time. It's never dropped in temperature below about 155. Let's see how we're doing. Got our metal tray. Okay, and let's go for thick part of a piece of chicken. What are we? Okay, we flew past where this one was, and we are up into, we're still at 135, 136, still climbing. All right, on that piece we are at 138. Not bad. So that is a significantly higher amount than the last one. Oh, this piece is even hotter. All right, we're over 139. And the difference between those when you're eating them is stark. I'm gonna do the French fry again. This may be a silly test, temperature probing a thermometer. Okay, we were at 100 even, and we're at 123 on our French fry. That's a weird test, but everything is noticeably warmer to eat. It is a huge improvement. Yeah, it's not cold, it's not ruined, but this feels like food that has been in a car driving home for 30 minutes. This feels like hot food. It's still hot when I bite into it. Like, the difference is so stark. Like, if you were asking me which of these I want, this is gonna win every single time. Is it a perfect setup? No. Do I necessarily have all the settings dialed in? I don't. Maybe it'd be better to go up to 170 or 180. I do plan to keep using this. I'll experiment with it. I'll see if a higher temperature is actually even better. But frankly, if it was a lot hotter than it is now, I'd have to wait for it to cool down. You can literally see the difference in the toast. Slightly warmer toast. The box did a good job keeping my food warm. It occurs to me that it's more useful the farther you have to travel for your food. If your food is actually gonna get all the way down to like a cold temperature, that's when you're gonna want this the most. So what do you think? Is this a product that should be in stores? Is this something that, maybe delivery drivers themselves should be able to put your food in so it gets to your house still nice and hot, everything the right texture, nice and crispy? Or is this just me? Am I the only person who's crazy enough to think that they want one of these? Now, I'm not saying especially that in its current form it's ideal or necessarily even the safest way to do things, but if you're crazy like me and you are interested in making one of these, a list of all the supplies I used along with a link to where you can get the STL files for all of the parts, that's down in the description. So if you want to build one, you can. Do so at your own risk. This has been a ton of fun. Thanks to all of you for watching, and thanks to the sponsor AnyCubic for sending us the Cobra S1 Max. It was great for building this fun little device. As always, a huge thank you shout out to all of our supporters on Patreon. You guys are amazing, and if anyone out there is interested in joining my amazing supporters, the link for my Patreon is also in the description.